Boys, it's literally the timeline. I mean, like we've got January 15, and I already think like from the events that have happened till now, it feels like we got mid-year already, right? There's so much stuff, bro. There's so much stuff, and to be kept updated by all that stuff, you need to subscribe to me. That's it. Now, Iranian Iran really went on that route to like, yeah, we're gonna fuck around, but eventually we're gonna find out, and they will find out. Like I said, if the people of that country, of a regime speaking out, and you get your internet access denied, so you can do whatever you want to that country, if that happens to you as a citizen, you know it's propaganda pure. Propaganda pure. Look at North Korea, and I just think that, oh boy. And U.S. aircraft carriers en route to Iran because the tensions rise and the U.S. strike group is ready to be put in place if the Iranian regime doesn't follow Trump's instructions. Let's say what these people got to say to that topic.
Carrier is en route to the Middle East with other military assets from air, land, and sea expected to begin flowing into the region in the coming days and weeks. The White
Sorry,
House still
boys.
leaving the door open, though, for a potential strike.
The president and his team have communicated to the Iranian regime that if the killing continues, there will be grave consequences. The president and his team are closely monitoring this situation, and all options remain on the table for the president. Only President Trump knows what he's going to do, and a very, very small team of advisors are read into his thinking on that.
Pam Bodie talking while the Jeffrey Epstein files lay around. No, I'm kidding. Go back. I'm sorry, I was quickly absent.
The president and his team have communicated to the Iranian regime that if the killing continues, there will be grave consequences. The president and his team are closely monitoring this situation, and all options remain on the table for the president. Only President Trump knows what he's going to do, and a very, very small team of advisors are read into his thinking on that.
Senior fellow at the Independent Women's Forum and member of the Council on Foreign Relations, Dr. Kanta Ahmed.
What are these glasses, bro? Like, can't I really can't look at that woman and say like, yeah, she sounds like an expert or like somebody who knows. But
joins us now.
looks
Dr.
can be
Ahmed, thank you so
deceiving.
much for being here. So the president is sending military assets to the region, and all options remain on the table. But there's also this Wall Street Journal report that says President Trump was told an attack on Iran wouldn't guarantee the collapse of the regime. The reporting goes on to say the U.S. officials and Middle Eastern partners told the White House the regime was unlikely to fall after a massive bombing campaign, which could instead spark a broader conflict. Smaller assault packages, meanwhile.
Just take out the cancer. Take out the trash and everything will fall in place. But yeah, that's true. There's a high risk, high reward.
Could boost morale among protesters, but ultimately not change the regime's crackdown. So taken as a whole, how do you view all of this and where things go from here?
Iran is extremely militarized. The regime is defended by the Iranian Revolutionary Guard, who are loyalists, fanatics, and actually the prime beneficiaries of Iran's corrupt and excavated economy. It is imperative the United States stands with the Iranian people, and I do believe the president will make the decision to strike ballistic missile launchers, manufacturing capabilities, drone factories.
To have U.S. as an adversary, as a caveman country as Iran is, bro, you don't get the numbers, you don't get the military equipment, you will be run over. Like, for real. This time, for real. Good luck. Because, like, killing succeeded. Like, I'm gonna play
a
the
number of
video
other
and I'm
assets
gonna
to begin
just
with, which can be
I want to see
readily
how
targeted
many.
by the United States without ground troops or any kind of invasion, which would be unacceptable for the president and the American people. Regimes don't die overnight, but this is a dying regime.
Yeah,
And
it's a
if we
dying regime,
fail to stand with the Iranian people who are being targeted by snipers, shot in the face and genitals,
bro. Like there were even people disguised as citizens, civilians, but they were undercover agents from the Iranian regime, and they were placed into the middle of the crowd to stab people and lead them into a killing zone. And then they made the families pay. Everything's apparently alleged, and then they made the families pay for the bullets. So they're taking the guys' corpses hostage.
murdered in their cars. Meanwhile, we have an unknown body count which exceeds 10,000, some say
Yeah,
12,000 already
yeah,
killed.
I've read it now too. Like the last credible update was 3 days ago, but they shut the internet off, so you're not quite sure how many it is. But like one report says here over 15K, and like I did a video 2 days, like a few days ago, a few videos ago. I don't know what day. Okay, but yeah, the death toll apparently 15,000. That's crazy. They started executing. I remember when it was like 20, 30 people. Still, way too much. Way too much. But that right there, yeah, that's a ship waiting to sink.
Then we will go down in history as not standing up for the dignity and nobility for almost 100 million Iranians who deserve better.
Yeah, and that same Wall Street Journal report says that there is also a belief that President Trump could simply just be stalling for time in order to give military assets enough time to move into place. There was also this other report, Dr. Ahmed, yesterday
Makes sense.
about a phone call that President Trump had with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. And that reporting says that the Prime Minister encouraged President Trump not to strike right now. And one of the reasons is because he's concerned that a larger conflict could be sparked as a result of a strike, which seems like a unique position for the Prime Minister to take, considering he himself has led the charge on doing that very thing. So what do you think about a potential larger conflict to be manifested after a strike?
Look, I go against Benjamin's word, and I'd say, bro, can't get worse. I mean, like, yeah, there could be foreign conflicts, but there already is.
In where the Prime Minister stands right now.
Can't get any
So a
worse.
couple of things. First of all,
You
while
need to
assets and
intervene.
ships are on the way, the United States has an extraordinary military presence and support from the Kurdish part of Iraq, where we have our biggest assets in Erbil. So we are ready to strike with imminent proximity. Secondly, nobody understands the Iranian threat better than Israel, that's been the recipient of Iran's tremendous proxy wars through Hezbollah and Hamas. And so, as well as the disruption of Syria by Iran and Lebanon by Iran, all of which has surrounded Israel with this awful conflicts. However, we don't know what's coming the day after in Iran. But I do have confidence in the Iranian people. They are.
I'm sorry, it can always get worse. I just went against my motto. I always think, like in Switzerland, like in Swiss German, like in German, there's a saying, "Schlimmer geht immer." Worse is always possible. Worse is always possible. Don't you think you got it worse? Because the guy next to you maybe got it 10,000 times worse.
Highly intelligent. They're part of a 5,000-year civilization. Every Iranian that I talk to detests the tyranny they lived under.
Yeah.
51 years, I think today, the Shah was forced out of Iran. And so there are many unknowns.
The people are speaking. Change is inevitable, and I'm glad. I'm praying for the people. Like, it's sad that they have to go through this, but it's absolutely necessary.
But I think the United States is extremely well positioned, and I have every confidence the president is going to take action and make the best decision.
Let's
However,
hope so.
what's made of that strike is up to the Iranian people. And we also have to remember Iran has amazing naval assets which control the outflow of oil in the Persian Gulf. And that is extremely worrisome to our Gulf partners and the global energy markets. But we can also manage that. So this is the beginning of the end. An American strike is going to facilitate that, but it is not going to end it overnight.
Sure. Meantime, President
Sure.
Trump and Venezuelan opposition leader Maria Corina Machado meeting at the White House, where she gave him her Nobel Peace Prize.
That actually happened.
In spite of the Nobel Prize Committee saying that you couldn't transfer your Nobel Prize.
Yeah, but that's not the topic today. That's not an important topic here. Can't get any worse, but it actually can. Yes, sure. But for the people there who've been living under these conditions, it can't get any worse. And I'm really hoping that it's over and done by now, or like shortly, because Iranian UAVs closely monitoring USS Eisenhower carrier strike group with entering the Persian Gulf. The Iranian Navy instructed the U.S. carriers group to keep all aircraft grounded on decks as they passed the Strait of Hormuz. Yeah, the people need help, bro. And like right now, he's the best to do it. He's the best to do it. People need sanctuary. Not in that context that we want them in our country. I don't want them at all. Fix their regime, fix their political situation and status, fix that and rebuild it. Topic done. I'm out. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one.